it's immediately apparent that what is happening here is important.
We're in the business of providing an unjuried, uncensored forum for the arts.
A non-negotiable forum for the arts.
To create and provide space where people can perform or exhibit or somehow present original work they've done.
There's ideas here being born, being tried.
It's a continual process of creation. It's not static.
It is a community, and it's about community. It's about interfacing with the larger community.
I think it helps to open people's minds.
You feel energy, you feel the sense of something happening.
AS220 is a 22,000 square foot building.
That has 3 stories.
The most obvious place to enter is through the cafe.
And it serves wonderful food.
The walls of the cafe act as a gallery, shows change every month.
It's people's ideas. Whatever they want to do can be done here at AS220. Stage where there's all kinds of activity that goes on.
And a stage for performance.
So that's kind of the heartbeat. It's the performance space.
And attached to the complex is a theater company.
The Perishable Theater. On the 3rd floor, there's Groundworks Dance Studio.
You go through the downstairs cafe, up the stairs, and
It's probably pretty interesting to walk through the hallway at any time and see a variety of things going on.
The whole building gives you this impression of a huge pulsating energy source.
You name it, we got it.
it's immediately apparent that what is happening here is important.
Alright, let me tell you a little something about the Porkchop Lounge. Every Thursday, Friday night, AS220. This is a place where you don't have to be scared to go on stage. Come down, do whatever you want. It's not Broadway, right? Have fun. Top to that. Don't look at my ass, I hate that. First up tonight, doing something that she hates. This is her first time she chose the Porkchop Lounge. Smart. Jesus. Don't you hate that? I do hate that, yes. Her name is Linda Rabiotti. Did you hate that? So please welcome Linda Rabiotti.
I hate men, or more specifically, the men I've been involved with. Most of the men I've dated are paralyzed from the neck up. I'm a jerk magnet. Like the one who checked out the food supply in my freezer and asked me what video store memberships I have. Or the one who legally changed his name. Last name Stevens with a Z at the end. Get a life. Get a clue. I want a boyfriend with a name that sounds like a cheesy porno star? I don't think so. Have you heard about tumors that have hair and teeth? Really, it's true. I read about it in Newsweek. Well, hair and teeth are two attributes that most of my would-be dates don't have. But they are tumors. Now, when the man of my dreams is prone to psychotic episodes, a handy way of getting the eat shit and die point across is the restraining order. Restraining orders are effective for the dream date that tries to muscle me around, threatens or stalks me. Now, those are 3 ways to win a girl's heart. Cheap, insincere, egomaniacal, unemployed, alcoholic, unreliable. The list goes on. But these guys act like they're giving me a treat. Where's it written that just because you have a penis, you're better than half the population? Hey baby, I've got a big dick. Yeah, well how about a big heart, big soul, big mind? Until I find a guy with those, I'll be home shampooing my cats. Thank you.
Thank you. God, I hated that. You know, there's something that I hate. It's the code. The women code. You guys know what I'm talking about.
No, I'll be fine. Oh, just go, I'll be alright.
You know what else I really fucking hate? Sega, NHL 95. Those are the two things I really hate. But next up, I think you all know him and love him. I hate him. Bert, thank you.
That's my grandmother. I hate the bitch. She's dead. And it's perfectly fine. She's the one that's responsible. Sister Black cloths, starched, white frame, soft round face, angry, hurting, grabs me, throws me hard against the wall, against the door into a room alone. Piano, black cloth returns, tears, deep crying in stomach, stained cloth soaked with my tears, hugging, warmth, my ache, my stomach, my head, hugged close, tight in her cloth breast, wet from the flood, the ache, the pain, the love, the loneliness. Extra sharp provolone. American Italian bread, long tables, a gymnasium, other children, the heel of the bread, the smell of the bread, the smell of the extra sharp provolone, space between me and them, brown paper bag, difficult to get my mouth around the sandwich, so tasty, so good, the crisp crusted bread, the extra sharp provolone, the smell of the provolone, space between me and them, the gymnasium. Pillow, curled knee, bed, no more screaming, pain, holes, stomach aching, mom is gone again. I want to die, I pray to die. It was better when there was screaming, tears, cigarettes, no sleep, no sense, pain, loud pain. My mother I love in my stomach. I love it so hard. The window, inside, outside the face, lipstick askew, the car doors locked, hair curl is askew, a baby doll, peering through window, outside, inside, me, alone, small, scared. Mom is inside the building, bars, window, me outside. Thank you.
I love that. Next up, it's a little Frodus action coming at you. You guys are really gonna hate this. Frodus, at you. Coming.
shit up.
I hate chair. I hate performance art. I
Really fucking hate pretentious artists.
I hate poker.
I hate better. I hate
that guy over there.
You know what? I hate cold trainers.
I hate
on Smith
football.
Hill.
I hate
I hate hot cauliflower.
I hate
cold beans.
I hate microphones. I hate yours not sitting there.
I hate being up on
I
stage.
I hate Christmas lights. I hate Google. I hate ceramic, China.
I hate having to list things.
I hate Easter, Christmas. I hate
honeydew melons. I hate bananas.
I hate most other silverware. I hate cheese. I hate place beds. Most. I hate black paint. I hate running out of things to hate. I hate screws and bolts.
I hate teenies.
I hate teenies. What?
I hate teenies. John.
Teenies, you mean the teeny drink?
Yes, I hate teenies.
John, you can't
say that. I
teenies.
fucking hate teenies, all right? I'm sorry, I hate them.
John.
What, you like them?
Don't forget, John.
I don't like them.
Frodus is sponsored by Teeny Drink. You can't hate teenies. Teeny is proud to sponsor Frodus's 1995 performance season. Teeny, the drink of champions. This performance will be followed by a short intermission where we'll have a cocktail party sponsored by Teeny, where you can try all sorts of cocktails mixed with teeny drinks, sponsored by Teeny.
No, I kind of like it.
Go. Now we'll have a short intermission where we'll serve teeny cocktails.
Martini?
Hope you enjoy your teas. Thank you. And now back to the show. We're gonna do a little more Frodus. I know how much you hate the guys, but seriously, we're gonna have a little more Frodus right now from that show.
Spokane Sam and his rhythm shirt. Spokane Sam got his rhythm shirt August 15, 1992. It was a great friggin' rhythm shirt. And it went a ricky-ticky-tick, a ricky-ticky-tack. But no one knew where he got it. There was a blood stain on his pocket when he got it. And now no one knew where the pocket went to. He had no pocket on that rhythm shirt that went ricky-ticky-tick, ricky-ticky-tack. And Tucson Tom told him he could get a better rhythm shirt down at Sticky Smith's rhythm shirt outlet. But Sam wouldn't listen. He knew that Sticky Smith sold shitty rhythm shirts. And he knew that a shitty rhythm shirt didn't go a ricky-ticky-tick, ricky-ticky-tack. That's for sure. I never heard of a rhythm shirt that was shitty, that went a ricky-ticky-tick, a ricky-ticky-tack either. Wait, no. Snooze. Just gotta hit the snooze. Just hit the snooze.
Ready? On your mark, get set, go! Oh, Petunia. Sweet, sweet Petunia. Where have you gone? I spent cold, lonely nights all by myself waiting for your return, Petunia. Oh, Petunia. Oh, Petunia, my heart has been rended in two. Petunia, I love you so. Can't you see? I'm waiting for you, Petunia. Please return, Petunia. You are the sun. You are the everything to my life, Petunia. And I lie awake crying in my cold sheets, all by myself, waiting, Petunia. Oh, Petunia. How I miss you so. Petunia. Petunia, remember the day we went for the picnic in the park? Oh, how I cherish the memory of the picnic in the park. Thank you, and good night.
Thanks. Who hated that? I hated it too. Next up, is Eileen James doing a little something that she hates. So please welcome Eileen James. Clean up their shitty act. I really hated you guys. And I really hated a mess. Thank you. Thanks. Eileen James. Everyone's.
Wet lips, moist tongue, double chin, borrowing, sponge cake and creamy filling. I've heard in the dark the rustling sheets and muffled cries and secretive warnings. The big dark silhouette, young womanhood spoiled, a sin. I closed my eyes but still saw it all. Cheeseburgers and tea, cornrows and yoo-hoos. Mary hides herself freely in the kitchen. She and Grandma bake pies. They split a pie between themselves, then throw some tinned frozen meals into the oven. Grandma's not hungry. She'll be doing the dishes. Grandma's alone in curtains. Grandma's alone in the kitchen with bright yellow curtains, the place for her to hide in a set of plastic curlers. All she's ever strived for was to be suburban. Buzzer's off. Dinner's done. Church crosses, badges for hypocrites, beatings in a pale living room over TV dinners. Hail Mary full of grace. Varnished oak and red velvet, the smell of bourbon, whiskey, on a 5 o'clock shadow at 6 o'clock. Please come out of the kitchen and there are no dishes to wash. Please come out and see me and Mary and Grandpa. Thanks. This is good for me. This is called I Don't Much like tequila shots. The syrup is thick and the taste lingers in my esophagus. I don't like that it slides down my insides and slams against my head. It fucks with my gravity. The heavy marble coffee table. It seldom surfaces coffee mugs and my legs bump into the corner of the table. It scrapes my skin and I don't like to bleed. This old chair embraces my back and it notices the curves of my spine and the blood slides down my leg and I gather it up, scooping it onto my fingertip and I let it ooze mixed with spit onto my tongue. The taste salty yet sweet and full of me. When some boys say, I want to taste you, is this what they mean? Like biting into my shoulders without even thinking about it and feeling my flesh run at teeth. Soft consistency of skin kneaded between the white enamel. So hard you can taste my black and swallow my brown. But I fear ritualistic cannibalism and I never drink blood. And I don't much like this room. It's too dizzy and filled with smoke and the ashtrays are overflowed and the walls are too close together and the carpet smells like my feet and the couch reeks of beer and the curtains are stained with dust and incense smoke. And even more than those things, I hated to look in the mirror these times because there's me thinking of tobacco and drunk on tequila and watching myself bleed. Thanks.
Thank you, Eileen. This mic is very loud, huh? Who hates that? Let me show of hands. Who hates that? Who hates me? Got it. Good. I hate all of you anyway. Next up, all the way from upstairs, we got Rage. He's going to be doing Heaven and Hell. Here he is, Rage.
Peace be unto you.
Never!
That
But I'll give you something, though.
There's nothing you possess that I don't already have.
Ignorance is the glow of your skin.
You need a hug.
You should have hugged me in the beginning. Or are you just as acceptable to me as everyone else? Yes. Yes, come give me a hug. I long for a hug. Hug me.
For God so loved the world.
I am not his son.
The Lord is my shepherd.
So be it. Leg of lamb for dinner.
Who do you fear?
I am fear.
You are misguided. Follow me.
Can I see where?
I am sight.
You're at a loss for words, aren't you?
I am the answer.
Shut the fuck up!
Shut does not go up.
Descending to my level?
Look down. You're ascending to me.
Do you not know that I am the way into the doleful city? That I am the way into eternal grief? That I am the way to a forsaken race? Justice it was that moved my great creator. Divine omnipotence created me. And highest wisdom joined with primal love. Before me, only eternal things were made. And I shall last eternally. Abandon every hope, all you who enter.
Your creator rests in my home.
My creator does
Your
not.
creator is my creator as well.
My creator.
Your creator is love.
My creator is
Your
not.
creator loves you. Do you love your creator?
I love myself.
Then all that moves is right on time.
And I shall feed for eternity.
Eternity hasn't ended. I'll see you there.
I'm not gonna say shit about that one. Next up, Porkchop Lounge. Hey, you got the wrong hero coming at you right now. Right?
Wrong. Not right now. Not now either. How's about now? No. I am the wrong hero. I'm always in the wrong place at the wrong time. What are you laughing at? And everything I do is wrong. They say you should never turn your back on the audience. I did that on purpose to make this trick look hard. I am the wrong hero, and I am a metaphor for America. Don't ask me what that means, I just like the sound of it. So I'll say it again. I am a metaphor for America. I am a metaphor for America. Thanks for the hash, Uncle Walt. I am a metaphor for America because I, too, too have come from a far-off land, to a country where my every utterance is treated with the utmost indifference. For I am an alien. Want to make something of it? You? All right, be cool. I've been all over this great country of ours, and it felt so good when the federales took the handcuffs off. I would like to talk about the history of ethnic prejudice in the United States. But not right now. Right now I'm going to take a break. Because I am the wrong hero. And I am indifferent to your impatience. 1491. 1491. A year that will forever go down in American history. 1491. The last good year for the Indian. In the 1500s, the Spanish conquistadors came to this country. And that reminds me, today is Cinco de Mayo, Mexican Independence Day. Budweiser beer, big radio stations giving all these big parties and stuff. You know, Cinco de Mayo, Mexican Independence Day. It's bad enough we stole 1/3 of their country, now we're stealing their Independence Day too! Thank you. A little bit of topical humor there. In the 1500s, the Spanish conquistadors came to this country. Many called them cruel and rapacious tyrants. Others, in their defense, said that they were siesta-taking, sombrero-wearing, red wine-drinking hotheads with wicked tempers from sangria hangovers. Basically, they were alcoholics and they weren't responsible for what they did to the Indians. So let's just pass that over. In the 1600s, the British came to North America. Now, many said the British were snobbish, inbred, bulldog-loving, Henry VIII worshipping drunks with horsey teeth, who like to do nothing but eat crumpets, drink tea, play cricket, carry umbrellas, wear pin helmets, and read Kipling's Take Up the White Man's Burden. But in their defense, let it be said that the British will always stand indomitably against tyranny until the last American is dead. And that there will always be in England as long as there is a Fort Knox. In the 1620s, the Dutch came to this country and traded $24 worth of trinkets to the Indians for Manhattan Island. Those trinkets today would be worth about $24. Well, you know what I want to know is, what was in those trinkets anyway? It's like, hey, my red brothers, suck the beads. Good. What more? Trade Island. Well, some people said that the Dutch were shrewd traders who gave us the expressions Dutch uncle, Dutch oven, and Dutch courage. Others have said that the Dutch were tulip-sniffing, butter-eating, Heineken gulping, clog-wearing fatsos, whose eyes were crossed from staring at windmills, whose fingers were shriveled from sticking them in dikes, and who did nothing but ice skate and get goofy from smoking hash in low dives. In the 1700s, the French came to North America. The Indians preferred trading furs with the French because the French were uniquely fair in their bartering practices. And yet, behind their backs, the Indians referred to the French as the wine-slurping, breeze-stinking, snail-eating, tongue-kissing, syphilis-infested, pornography-reading, adulterous writers of incomprehensible philosophy. In the 1740s came the Scotch. The dour Scotch. And you know, the Scotch, basically they were just a bunch of troublemakers because, you know,
in 1794, they were responsible for the Whiskey Rebellion in western Pennsylvania. You know, I was thinking about this, the Whiskey Rebellion. You know, if I'm going to be involved in a rebellion, I want it to be a whiskey rebellion. What's the political platform? What's the slogan? That's a great slogan. Come home, America. Well, many refer to the Scotch as dress-wearing, penny-pinching, oatmeal-eating, haggis-gulping, bagpipe-tuning skinflints. But it must be said in defense of the Scotch that they invented whiskey, golf, and selfishness. Three things without which no 20th century American could do business. The Scotch were very important. In the 1840s came the Germans. Many looked at your typical German and said, "Who is this beer-bloated, sausage-eating, sauerkraut, slurping, chocolate, chomping, right-wing nitwit? What good are the Germans? What did they ever give America? Kindergartens, rathskellers, and..." Give me a week and I might think of something. As Eisenhower said when asked how Richard Nixon had contributed to his presidency. Well, in the 1840s came the Irish. Because of the potato famine in Ireland, and there's a great excuse not to go to work. I can't go to work, boss. Got the potato famine. Sorry about that. I know, last week it was bubonic plague. This week it's potato famine. Well, many looked at the Irish and said, "Whoa, who is this bog-trodden, clay-pipe-smoking, brick-throwing, bomb-hurling, shillelagh-wielding, shamrock worshiping, burning, stone-kissing, broad-talking, fiddle-playing, mandolin strumming, penny-whistle-tooting, rock-gulping, ale-slurping, leprechaun hallucinating, ether-sniffing, incomprehensible poetry writing, evil-tempered, grotesquely sentimental dipsomaniac." In the 1870s came the Scandinavians. Now, a lot of people regard the Scandinavians as miserable, big-boned ex-Vikings with crooked teeth who lived in squalid hovels, eating raw salted salmon, reading Hamlet from the light of whale-fat lamps, and feeling sorry for themselves. But at least these were Northern Europeans. In the 1890s came an influx of Southern and Eastern Europeans. For example, of the Southern Europeans came the Italians. Now, many regard the Italians as crooked cigar smoking, olive oil slurping, dagger wielding, mafia fearing, coke worshipping, spaghetti eating, greasy, garlicky, sex-crazed, emotional fascists, whose one ambition in life was to bark incomprehensible orders at their betters. Others, in their defense, said, well, the Italians are family men. Everybody knows that the Italians resent their fathers, adore their mothers, drive their sons pazzo, and turn their daughters into sluts with big hair. Well, along with the Italians came the Greeks. Now, many looked at the typical Greek and said, who is this bazooki playing, ouzo drinking, baklava eating, olive munching, stuffed grape leaves, slurping, pistachio crunching, sailor cap wearing, black hair, bushy eyebrow, tin horn, chiseler? He reeks of sardines. Or maybe it's his cologne. I don't know. Well, there then came an influx of Eastern Europeans, notably the Polish. The Dutch blood-drinking, vodka-swilling, clumsy, thick-headed, stubborn, oafish lumps. is what many Americans refer to the Polish as. And there are also the Hungarians, the goulash-eating, paprika-reading, suicidal whiners, that many Americans call them. Well, in the 1900s, believe it or not, the Turks were the most despised minority in America. And even today, when people think of the Turks, they think, oh, the curd-killing, heroin-smoking, fez-wearing, pastry-gobbling, and pathologically cruel Turks. Which brings us right back to the Spanish conquistadors. Now, if only they had had a 12-step program. Here you are, my Indian brother. Take gold from me. You want to do human sacrifices in your rickety pyramids? Go right ahead. I'm not going to enable you. Oh, and by the way, read these Watchtower pamphlets while you're up there. You might find something interesting in them. Well, in the 1960s, people began thinking about American history and reassessing it somewhat. They began thinking about how much we mistreated the African Americans, who, strictly speaking, weren't immigrants, but were brought here against their will in 1619. You know, after the Civil War, Lincoln and the Freedmen's Bureau promised each emancipated slave 40 acres and a mule. But somehow, General Grant got elected, he got drunk, he forgot all about it. But if only the African Americans had been given that 40 acres and a mule. Nowadays, we'd see a scenario something like this.
Yo, brother, can I borrow your TV station?
No, my brother, you must buy your own.
Thanks. Hey, you wouldn't happen to have a special interest in this now, would you?
Well, any American Indians here? Because I'm going to suck up to them next. In the 1960s, Americans began reassessing what they did to the American Indian. Many Americans in the 1960s said to themselves, why, we've broken every treaty we've ever made with these proud people. And what's the result? Indians are poor. They sleep on old army blankets. Indians got disease from old army blankets. Their filthy teepees smell like gopher shit. And old army blankets. They're forced to live on fat dogs and Palomino ponies. And old army blankets. Hey, wait a minute. They weren't even born here. They migrated thousands of years ago across the Bering Strait. Give back those army blankets, you thieving redskins! Is what many Americans said in the 1960s. This presentation has been brought to you by the Eskimos, makers of fine blubber products for your home, including Blubber Light, Blubber Clear, cruelty-free blubber. I can't believe it's not blubber. Fat-free blubber, free-range blubber, my little blubber, country time blubber, multi-grain blubber, pickup blubber, blubber come back to me, Mighty Morphin Power blubber, Teenage Mutant Ninja blubber, and new Nazi-free blubber. I hope you have found this presentation amusing. If you have not found it amusing, I hope you have found it instructive. If you have found it neither amusing nor instructive, then I'd like to thank you very much for not hurting me or my friends. I'm the wrong hero. Good night.
Thank you, wrong hero. That's it for Porkchop Lounge tonight. Thank you all for coming in. I hate that every seat isn't full, but thanks. And I'll see you next Thursday, same time. Same place.
denomination in the world is the Holy Roman Catholic faith. Now, I know many of you may have lapsed in the past years, but that's all right. That's all right. Because what we're going to do now is a crash course in Catholicism. For those of you that have forgotten, or those of you that never were. All right, first thing, we're going to learn to stand up and sit down. All right. When I raise my hands, stand up. Stand up, you goddamn heathens. Sit down. Stand up. Sit down. Good. Mumble. Everybody mumble. If you don't know the words, just mumble. All right. Let's do a dry run. No. When I put my hands down, then you sit down. Up. Peace be with you. Let us give thanks and praises to the Lord. Our Father, who art in heaven, hallowed be thy name. Thy kingdom come, thy will be done on earth as it is in heaven. Give us this day our daily bread. Forgive us our trespasses, we forgive those who trespass against us, and lead us not into temptation, but deliver us from evil. Amen. Boom. Very good. Very good. Now, that's the largest of the Eastern religions, of course. But of course, there's also Western religions. Excuse me, I got fucked up. Eastern. We'll go to the Eastern now. Now, yoga is an outgrowth of Hinduism. With yoga, supposedly, you're able to achieve enlightenment eventually, but total relaxation and rejuvenation of the spirit, the body, and the mind. But who the fuck's got time for that today? So now we're going to do yoga for the busy executive. 1 minute. Relaxation. Relax. Bastrika. Pranayama. Now we're going to do an asana. This one is known as a suryasana. Bam! Now we're going to do shavasana. Meditation. Nirvana. That's it. Now, Crystal Head Bob's own great-grandmother was a Cree Indian. But this country, we don't like to use words the way we used to, so you can call her Native American, even though she was a Native Canadian, and preferred to call herself an Illinois, but whatever the fuck makes you happy. Now, there's a thing in Cree religion known as the bear dance. Traditionally, this is a sacred act that's performed with friends, family. If you're male, generally with males. If you're women, generally with other women, but not necessarily the case. But we're selling the shit out of Native American religion. We got people with less Indian blood than me running around the country selling all kinds of shit. We got guys selling fucking crystals in Santa Fe. We got people selling incense, reading fucking Native American tarot cards, which of course they never really had. We got people selling everything, turquoise, everything you can imagine, selling the shit out of it. Because people are buying it, because they're looking for something, and the more money you got, the better. Because they got guilt, they're trying to sell that. And you can sell the shit out of people if they're guilty. Now we're going to do something called a bear dance, which generally takes a whole day. But, fuck it, we ain't got time for that in America. Coming up, that's going to give Catholicism a run for its money, is Islam. Allahu Akbar. Allahu Akbar. overtones that Americans don't particularly care for. We'll take all kind of religions as long as they don't offend our senses. So, what I've done is rewritten some of the Quran into something I call politically correct Islam, in the name of Allah the Beneficent, the Merciful. Now this particular passage has to do with women's rights, adultery, sexual freedom, etc. Surah 24:2, the like. And those who accuse free women of fornication, flog them 80 strokes, and do not admit any evidence from them ever. And these it is that are the transgressors. I've rewritten this to read, and those who have issues with women, otherwise, or men who are more open and free with their sexuality, remember, you may feel superior to them, for you are more broad-minded, and they are the transgressors. Also in Islam exists a rather intolerant attitude towards those who are not. So on the issue of the infidels, Surah 15:2 and 3, the Rock has to say, often will those who disbelieve wish they had been Muslims. Leave them that they may eat and enjoy themselves, and that hope may beguile them, for they will soon know. And Surah 56:92 to 95, the great event, says, and if he is one of the rejectors, the erring ones, he shall have an entertainment of boiling water and burning in hell. Most surely, this is a certain truth, which, of course, offends many people, and I have rewritten. And as for those who are not receptive to cultural and religious diversity, feel pity for them, for perhaps they are economically and and educationally disadvantaged and are missing the boat. They will pay a price in not being as enriched as you. Most surely, this is a certain truth. Now, we also have a long tradition in this country. Of course, we have freedom of religion, but we don't always get along. And this is something that's been going on for some time in this country. It hasn't actually broken out into war, but it has led to many people getting killed. And I was thinking of something. I was watching a thing on CNN the other day, and it was a conference at Howard University about black and Jewish relations in this country. And I thought to myself, perhaps some sort of cultural synthesis, maybe just on a pop culture level, might be helpful in this area. I don't know. We'll see what you think. I'm gonna say what I'm saying. We don't let them play for a while. We'll do some shout-outs. DJ Gibble from Crown Heights says, reform Jews ain't nothing but punk-ass motherfucking bitches. We don't need none of that shit. I call for peace between the Lubavitches and the Sackmars. You know what I'm saying? Much peace. So I'm saying we don't need that shit. Now we're gonna get some old school. While I'm talking about old school, I'm gonna bring in Israel Baal Shem Tov. It's his birthday this month. You understand what I'm saying? So what I'm looking for is respect for the old school. We're gonna play some gangsta gangsta out of NWA and some West Coast shit, because I like that shit. Alright. Alright, now. We got a few more shout-outs to do while that shit goes on. I'm gonna turn this down a little bit. Turn around a little bit, get these shout-outs up. country that's very popular is fundamentalism. Now, fundamentalism takes form in many different ways in this country. I've touched on cults. Cults are important, of course, because we have cults that go beyond religion. We have the cult of money, the cult of sex, the cult of Rush Limbaugh. We have the cult of the righteous right. We have the cult of liberal humanism. We have the cult of anti-abortion activists. We have the cult of pro-abortion activists. We have the cult of higher education. We have the cult of the infonet. Fundamentalism, however, is something a little bit more mainstream. Fundamentalism, of course, exists in many different ways. There's Islamic fundamentalism, Jewish fundamentalism. But Christian fundamentalism is really where we got in this country. Because there are over 1,000 sects of Christianity in the world. Virtually all of them representing the United States, and almost half of them homegrown. That's right. Now you may say to yourself, where do I fit into this picture? You may say to yourself, Bob, I don't consider myself extreme, but you do need to fight for your rights. You do need to fight because you know everyone else around you is going to take it away from you. If you're black, the white guy's going to take it away. If you're white, the black guy's going to, everybody's going to take it. The Asians are going to take it away. Whatever you are, they're going to take it away. If you're rich, the poor are going to take it away. If you're poor, the rich are going to take it away. And you may say to yourself, Bob, you're out of your fucking mind. You may say to yourself, Bob, how does this fit into religion? I don't remember reading any of this in the Bible, but it does. And I say to you that the Lord appeared to me as I was a carny geek. And the Lord came unto me and said, Robert, stand. And I stood. And the Lord said, Bob, I love you. Even though you're out there drinking, smoking marijuana, picking up whores along the way, I love you, Bob. I have been cleansed
nothing to do with the movies or the success of them. I did the soap opera for 5 years and some episodic and things like that, and then I just wanted a family. I dropped out of acting completely. I haven't auditioned for anything in years.
Okay, I'm going to conclude tonight with a little bit of contemporary. There it is. All these scraps of paper. I'm going to conclude to address briefly the issue of media consolidation. What that means is that all the news organizations in the United States are being purchased by companies, and the companies are buying each other, so that all the information you're getting is being consolidated into fewer and fewer sets of hands. The big news this week, one of the big news this week, the Westinghouse Electric Corporation said yesterday that it had agreed to pay $5.4 billion for CBS Incorporated, the last independent television network. Westinghouse, primarily an industrial manufacturer, has decided to borrow heavily to bet on broadcasting, which is the smallest but most profitable of its current operations. Where's Ivy? Westinghouse has purchased CBS for $5.4 billion. Michael H. Jordan, the chairman and chief executive of Westinghouse, said the deal would create a premier, top-notch, outstanding company with 15 television stations and 39 radio stations that combined would give it direct access to more than a third of the nation's households. That's right, ladies and gentlemen, this is only 2 days after the news that Walt Disney purchased ABC for only $19 billion. Now, that means that all the news organizations publishing your television news and the newspaper editions are owned by only 5 major corporations. It's getting smaller and smaller, folks. So why don't you all join us now in a rousing chorus? Small world after all. It's a small world after all. It's a small, small world. One more time. It's a small world after all. It's a small world after all. It's a small world after all. It's a small, small world. Thank you very much for listening. Thank you.
All right. I mean, thank you for stopping at just the right time. Okay. Now, there are 2 things I have to do. Now, I sometimes have to cleanse myself, my own palate, after an act like that, because they were playing that doofus song. Oh, cut it out. And I have to sing a tricky song, and if I screw up, it's his fault. Now, one of the things I want to do, and I don't know if I can handle it, I want this mic high up where it was, because that's distracting to me. Always having to bend down. I want to... Oh, no! Stop! Thank you. All right. Oh, this is a good height for me. I don't want to fart around with it. That was the last act for our show. We thank you very much for coming. And we want to tell you that there'll be one in September. It's the first Saturday in September. And because of that fact, we selected our next song for you to enjoy.
I'll be alone each and every night. While you're away, don't forget to write.
See you in September. See you when the summer's through. Here we are, saying goodbye at the station. Summer vacation is taking you away. Have a good time, but remember, there is danger in the summer moon above. Will I see you in September, or lose you to another club?
I'll take the days when I'll be with you. I'll take the hours and the minutes too.
See you in September. See you when the summer's through. See you in September, or lose you to another club. Thank you. Oh God. All right. No. I want to thank every performer tonight. I also want to take the time to thank Joe Walker and lovely Stella on drums and fabulous Steve and Tony and our fabulous cafe workers. And then we do have that little ditty that we usually end our shows with. Yeah. Don't we usually do that? Yeah, wait, thank you for being with us. Yeah, something a little recognizable for them. Will you play? Will you don't want to do it? You don't think that? Oh, you don't? Oh, all right. Can you sing it? All right, you sing it too. Stella, you chime in. Thank you for being with us here tonight. It really has been a blast. Till next time we meet again. Next time you come, please bring a friend and come to the cabaret. Thank you.
Good evening. Are you bored yet? Well, you should be if you're not. You're Americans, right? Got some Americans here? All right. We are, without question, the boredest country in the fucking world. Think about it, right? We're bored with our religion. Virtually every religion in the world is represented in this country, but can we pick one? No. Look at these crystal heads. You're like, well, to first Sunday of the month, I like to chant and do meditation with my Tibetan Buddhist Lama. Then the second Sunday of the month, I go to Mass to support my mom. The third Sunday of the month, I go to my Native American shaman healer, the last member of the Patchogue tribe, Bernie Schwartz. And the fourth Sunday is mine because my therapist told me I had to take care of myself. Our food, we're bored with our food. Now, if you live in this country, particularly on either coast, you can eat virtually every cuisine on the face of the earth. But are we satisfied with that? No. Look at American Nouvelle Cuisine. Hi, I'm Timmy. I'll be your waiter. Besides a regular menu, we have a special tonight, venison roulade, stuffed with a ground nutria, goat cheese, cranberry filling. It's covered with a cilantro, serrano, chili, Jack Daniels cream sauce, and there's a mango, pine nut, raspberry vinaigrette salsa, very lovely on the side, a 3-ounce portion for $39.95. Of course, we're also bored with our sex lives. If you look at any alternative newspaper, you'll see ads like 17-year-old bisexual bad boy seeks 41-year-old lactating Indonesian woman for long walks on the beach, spankings, and rubber fun. 17, I was still getting off on the Sears catalog, right? Now, certain countries, like Germany, have a special kind of law. They have a word in Germany, Weltschmerz, which means world weariness. Especially songs that is visited upon the children of the hot bourgeoisie. In Germany, it is cool to be bored. Now, some countries are just inherently cool. Italy is inherently cool. And the reason why is like blue-collar guys can have a level of sophistication that in this country is only matched by like bi-coastal jet setters. I'll give you an example. I like Ron, I'm Italian, and in the town where my grandfather comes from, there's, where I have cousins still, there's this guy, Gregorio. Gregorio is a meat cutter. He spends his entire day in a white apron covered with blood and pieces of liver. He goes home to his 60-year-old wife who looks like a potato in a black dress and eats his dinner. But at night, Gregorio puts on a tailored Armani suit, goes to town, sits in the piazza, sips grappa with his 30-year-old mistress. That's cool. Now in France, you can do the same thing, but they think Jerry Lewis is a genius and have Euro Disney, which therefore makes them not cool. Now, some other countries, Australia is a cool country. In Australia, geeks are cool. Like you see these guys on like the Learning Channel or Discovery Channel. It's like, this is Michael Keith. Michael, during most of the year, is a librarian at the insectology department of Melbourne University. However, during his summer holiday, Michael likes to go naked skydiving into uncharted jungles of Papua New Guinea. The only concession he makes to civilization is a lighter inserted in his rectum and the words "Jumbik Bugger" tattooed on his arm for purposes of identification. Now, other countries, on the other hand, cannot be cool. Any Eastern European country cannot be cool. For example, take Bulgaria, right? What do you think of? You have peasants wearing sweaters and work boots who, as long as they get a shot of vodka and a piece of dry sausage, are happy as pigs in shit. Right? About 1% of the population is not cool, but weird in a kind of Andy Warhol type way. It's like you have like, I am Olga Schlitzkova. I sit with short black hair and black leotards in a cafe in Paris, smoking garroise, writing my 700-page ode to my clitoris. That's about as cool as they get. The Japanese also cannot be cool. Your average Japanese guy works 21 hours a day. If he can't make it home, he sleeps in a 7-by-3-foot box at a train station. He has to get drunk with his co-workers. Occasionally, the guys who get upper management, you'll see their kids going to like RISD. They can't be cool. I'm sorry, you can dye your hair blonde. You're not fucking cool, kid, because you're still worried about your homework. Now, in this country, there's all different types of cool. It's not just one thing. Last winter, me and my wife wanted to go somewhere. We couldn't afford to fly anywhere. We're just tired of the cold. So we said, let's just drive south as far as we can on a weekend. And I picked a spot, the Great Dismal Swamp in North Carolina. Right? And we went, literally, there's a town there called Gumneck, North Carolina. Now, it's cool to be cool in Gumneck. But cool in Gumneck's something different. Cool in Gumneck is you got yourself a big old Elvis belt buckle and an uncle in the Ku Klux Klan. Cool in Gumneck is grits in the morning and pork rinds for coffee break. Cool in Gumneck is country line dancing, honky-tonking on Saturday night, and going to church on Sunday. Amen. Cool in Gumneck is talking about right thinking, the Republican Party, and how Jesus, had he been alive today, Jesus would have been a member of the NRA. Yeah, buddy. On the other hand, that's also cool in Hope Valley, which is very frightening. Now, even locally, cool just is not the same thing. For example, Barrington. What's cool in Barrington? If you're a woman, oh no, you say nothing, but you don't live there. If you live there, you know it's cool. If you're a woman, you got a little blunt cut, you belong to the Athenaeum and a garden club, and you drive a Volvo. If you're a guy, you have the same haircut that you had when you were 5. Starting over the side, boat shoes, and you drive either a Mercedes or a BMW to work. You have a daughter that goes to Vassar, another one who's kind of like a gothic chick who's going through some hard times right now. You have the Wall Street Journal delivered to your house, but you really read the Providence Journal at work. Now, Woonsocket is another story. Cool in Woonsocket? Cool in Woonsocket, fucking dude! Alright? You got a Metallica t-shirt, you're smoking a Marlboro, drinking a Bud, driving a 1972 Chevy fucking Impala, dude! Am I fucking right? Alright. You got a tattoo of your girl on your arm? You're really on welfare, but someday you're gonna go to New England Tractor Trailer Driving School. Fucking A. Now, North Providence, what's going on North Providence? North Providence, you wear your fucking, what do you call them things? You wear your fucking pajamas outside in the wintertime. You live at home till you're 28 years old, at which point you buy a condo. Right? You got a condo and you don't piss around, right? You go to the fucking track, you go down to Foxwoods or whatever, you're bringing 2-3 grand in your fucking pocket. Right? You're not fucking around. You got a girlfriend, you got a fiance, and you got one chick you bang on the side. That's cool in North Providence. Now I live on Hartford Avenue. What's cool on Hartford Ave? Cool on Hartford Ave is a $700 Toyota Corolla with a $10,000 stereo system. The words, the name Tito, in Old English lettering and 2 foot high across the back of your car. And cool on Hartford Avenue, you say things like, what's up, yo? Pues nada, solamente chileando, man. Yo, man, what happened the other night, man? I heard that shit was fucked up. Oh, yeah, man, that shit was way fucked up, man. I was just, we was like blunted. Estaba caminando con my boy Hector, right? And we was going down to Maribel, because it was her sister's quinceañera, right? And so we was walking down there, right? And there's these widow motherfuckers on the corner, yo, right? They start talking all that good fella shit. I hear one of them say, bitch. I ain't even waited, yo, man. Come on, yo, boom, boom, boom. I started shaking with these motherfuckers. I be talking about like That's right. And in Roxbury, same thing was cool, kind of on parts of Hartford Avenue. I was riding the bus the other day. You can tell I'm in the upper middle class. I was riding the bus, and these kids are on the bus, and there's a show that's going on tonight. I don't even know who's playing, right? But these kids are sitting there like, yo, man, I can't even believe this shit, man. It's gonna be fucked up, yo. You know what I'm saying, man? That show gonna be down there at the Civic Center. Gonna be mad Chad heads down there, man. Be meeting at Cranston Street, all that shit up in there, right? Roxbury, Mattapan, Dorchester, Worcester, New Haven, motherfuckers gonna be crazy in the bastard in there, man. You know what I'm saying? I'm gonna strap the heart in a motherfucker. And I was like, what show's this? Can I get some tickets? And the kid was like, yo, man, I won't even talk to your ass. And that's about it. I gotta piss like a motherfucker, so have a good night.
This next one is going out to Newt Gingrich. This is a special package. Give him 4 extra scoops. Don't look at me, you can't see my identity. Thank you. Any requests?
Yes, he knows.
What?
Yes, he knows.
How many scoops, please?
Twice what he gave to Newt Gingrich.
How many gags?
You have no idea what it's like to spend weekends and nights out in the desert eating lots of oat bread. So that I can start the techno revolution against the scientists. You have no idea.
Just remember, I'm not that other guy. Thank you. I'm the Zen Psychotic.
We'll get on with our English lesson. Not and never are never verbs. They are adverbs. And our next guest for this evening is the wrong hero.
Hello? I'm the wrong hero. And I'd like you to know that I'm just a normal guy trying to make a living in showbiz without wearing a clown suit. I'm still working on that part about it. It's Labor Day, and you know, I'm a little bit fixated on Snuggles, the fabric softener bear, because, you know, there's all these ads with the bear making nice with a little child, and everybody looks at it and says, oh, isn't that cute? It's playing with the baby. And my instinct is to say, get that thing away from the baby! Of course, I have the same reaction to the Jerry Lewis first here, Pittsburgh. In Pittsburgh, every baseball season they had a little song which went, "Let's hear it for the Pirates." Just think of the effect that this has on an impressionable 8-year-old. Let's hear it for the Pirates! Go terrorists! All right, Matt. Yeah, it was a real baseball town, and a lot of people complain about baseball. They say, well, the sports writers say that the games are too long, and the fans say that they're too expensive, and there aren't enough all-you-can-drink beer specials. And well, you know, to me, baseball is sort of like the modern-day version of Mount Olympus. And I can see it now. It's an all-star triple-header. Circus is the mascot. Cicero is the umpire. Not the Roman orator, but Porky Pig's nephew. Pitching for the opposing team is Argus. He's got 1,000 eyes, and every single one of them is focused on striking his man out. Zeus steps up to the plate. He throws the bat away. He's going to hit with a bolt of lightning. It's a pop fly out to center field. Mercury's running to catch it. Mercury's flying to catch it. Those little wings on his feet sure do come in handy. And he catches it. It's golden. Mercury's glove, where triples go to die. Now Hercules steps up to the plate. He's waving 7 bats. Oh, the coach calls a timeout. Mount Vesuvius is erupting. They're all running off to take care of it. Hercules is going to roast some wheaties. As long as we're taking a break, I'd like to remind you that this game is being brought to you by Red God Beer. Red God, because you are your own God. Yep, Pittsburgh, it's a great place. It's, you know, they're kind of old-fashioned there, though. They think that horseradish is a mind-altering substance. And you know, growing up, my dad was a meat and potatoes man. His arms were made of French fries, and his legs were made of steak, and I'd look at him and say, "What kind of nightmare world is this you brought me into?" And my mother, you know, she was always saying to me, "I don't like you using cuss words. I don't want you to use that word shit. I really wish you'd call it something nice, like brown monuments to a healthy appetite. But just don't use that awful, awful word." You know, growing up, we were slow children. I hate to say it, but oh well, we used to play chicken with a steamroller. Thanks, pal. Got any more of those Japanese songs? You ever notice? On one of those 70s shows like Mannix and Dr. Welby, every time a Japanese guy walks in the room, you know, you can do this with every nationality. Italian guy walks in the room, theme from The Godfather. Mario Cuomo runs for president. He's got this in the background. And as your president, I promise to fight crime. What? Fight crime, yes. Well, anyway, his friend Lance, he used to get excited sometimes. He'd turn his tricycle upside down, and he'd turn the pedals like this and go, "I'm the icy ball man! I'm the icy ball man!" The really pathetic thing about this was he was 32 years old at the time. I'm like, "Lance, get a life! Get a hamster wheel, you loser! Get out of this town!" It's killing you. And I used to go to the public library, and they had a record by Edgar Allan Poe reading The Telltale Heart. Actually, it wasn't Edgar Allan Poe reading it, it was some guy, and it was like Drew, nervous, very nervous, but why do you say I have taken leave of my senses? They have sharpened, they have not dulled. But the record had a skip in it, so it sounded like this. True, nervous, but why do you say it's sharpened? So you know, this is a great thing for an 8-year-old. I used to walk down the street going, "True, nervous." And I used to go to the supermarket with my mother, and you know, I'd bring army soldiers and play with them in the produce section. And you know, she didn't mind this. I really get into it. You know, it's like, "Look out, there's Appalachia!" But she got really mad when I brought the Christ on the cross to the supermarket. It's the Air Force! It's the #1 sky pilot! So, take that, conscious pilot! Hey, Peter, I can see your house from here! Ah, yes. You know what gets me? We're on a Japan theme here. Last month was the 50th anniversary of Hiroshima and Nagasaki. You know, wait, some anniversary, some celebration. What do the Japanese think when they see in our media that it's like the 50th anniversary? It's like, all right, you hamburger jockeys, we're going to celebrate the 500th anniversary of bubonic plague. See how you like that? But you know what really gets me is that everybody talks about Hiroshima. Nagasaki got the shitty end of the stick. They got all the fallout and none of the publicity. Really pisses me off. Well, you know, that was a really memorable day in our history. Another memorable day was when JFK got assassinated. Some of us weren't born yet when that happened, but I remember I was 6 years old, and I remember thinking, when I heard the news, well, at least they can't blame me. Oh man, politics. Sonny Bono. Everybody's done stuff about Sonny Bono up the wazoo, but you know, I was thinking, did he ever foresee the day that he would become a congressman? They say love won't pay the rent. Sure, it's ugly. Money's now been spent. Wish I had some drugs. I got you, babe. This fur vest is itchy. I got you, babe. Someday I'll be a congressman. I'm just wondering about that. You know, the Democrats, they don't believe in stuff like flying saucers, but apparently they're all suffering under the delusion that we will all have Social Security when we turn 65. So just go figure. And the Republicans, you know, they're really into the Bible and stuff. But the one part they didn't seem to have read very closely was, blessed are the meek, for they shall inherit. Oh, maybe they did. Maybe they're going, oh, sure, they can inherit the earth, as long as we get the drilling rights. We messed up the surface of the earth with pollution anyway. Okay. I can work with that. Well, before I go, I'd like to tell you what I believe. I believe that big business is the religion of selfishness. Of course, they pay me to say that. And you know, Frank Lloyd Wright once said that architecture is frozen music. And I'm thinking, what dope is this guy been smoking, huh? Well, in perhaps just the same way, religion is frozen morality. Let me get earnest with you for a minute here. You know, we're not really all that advanced. We think we're so great, we're so scientific, but we're not. I mean, basically, we're just aborigines with rocket sleds. The Cro-Magnons had cave paintings. We have the internet. The ancients had masturbation. We have Nintendo. Okay? So there's nothing new under the sun. And science cannot answer all of our questions. There are questions that science cannot answer. Like, when are they going to invent a rat poison that hasn't been tested on animals? Questions science can't answer. If you take too many anti-nausea pills, how many do you have to take before you get nauseous? Questions science can't answer. And some scientists believe that on other planets, if there are life forms, they're not necessarily carbon-based. It's entirely possible they could be silicon-based. So, you know, when the aliens come to this planet, they step off the rocket ship, what's the first thing they're going to say? Take me to your nudie bars. I want to see your artificially enhanced women. I'm the wrong hero, and I'd like to leave you with this thought. The mass of men are sheep for credulity and wolves for conformity. Thank you.